Tolu Smith here. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Downtown Deuce ASAP. Come on, man.
Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Yeah, Detroit. Destination restoration. Yeah, it's our time. Can you feel the elevation? We on a mission on vacation. Time to create that separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for that confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination. Together all the time together. It's us against the world, it don't get no better. We turned it around, that was the beginning. Coming for the crown, you know we winning. Time to put in the work, I'm about to go berserk. Taking our prisoners, it's my time. Yeah, I know that it hurts. Say break out the church, you don't wanna see me in my prime. The mission is to ring, we're caught in everything. In the city, supporting the dream. Reaching new height never seen, we deserve to be king. It's all or nothing, no in between. The clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Now the clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Feel the elevation. We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for the confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination.
What up, though? Welcome back to another episode of the Deuce and Boss Show. Hope you guys are having a good Sunday night. Happy Sunday to everybody. Got some good weather here in the D today. It's about 85 degrees, no clouds in the sky, so it's a good day, good vibes. Boss, how you feeling?
I feel good. It's really hot in Denver. It's like in the 90s, but beautiful Sunday, beautiful weekend. What a fun game. Thanks for everybody that watched the live with us. It was super fun, and it was nice to get the dub, so I feel good.
Yeah, for sure, man. We see y'all in the chat, man. Shout out to everybody who pulled up for the live watch with us. They had a good time, as always. So shout out to you guys for that, man. I'm going to go ahead and launch this poll, boss, for who everybody thinks is the player of the game. Got a lot of candidates. A lot of candidates. There's no belt, but still a lot of candidates for player of the game. So you guys go ahead and have at that. Got some good contributions from some guys we were hoping to see today, boss. What's going on, Ambassador? For sure. So you guys go ahead and have at that. And you guys know the drill, man. If you miss your comment, repost, caps lock, super chat, whatever you guys want to do to get our attention, go ahead and do that, and we will come to you. So with that in mind, boss, in case you missed it, guys, the Pistons, they got their first Summer League dub of this offseason with a 103-94 win over the Cleveland Cavaliers. And like we mentioned, some good contributions. Wasn't the cleanest game, but it's Summer League, right? But we're going to break it all down. So without further ado, boss, if you want, we can get into some initial thoughts and just kind of talk about what you saw from this game.
Yeah, let's do it. So,
Let's do it.
I mean, kind of reflecting on it a little bit too, the Cavs, they looked a little bit less sloppy than we did, and they were super physical, crazy physical.
Yeah.
Their defense was really good. It kind of was driving me crazy of like, let's match their physicality, guys, if they're getting away with it. But to then still come out with the dub is huge. I think, like you said, a little sloppy, some miscommunications. It started off like watching kindergartners in a soccer field. You know, they're all running towards the ball both ways. You know, everyone's just excited to be there. It's a summer league game, like we said.
Yeah.
But saw a lot of good things, you know, compared to the first game. We saw a lot of guys that, you know, Chaz improved, Bryce Williams improved. Ebuka improved, like he showed off his defense even more today. He came out we just came out much stronger than last game, I think. And again, just had to kind of fight through the physicality that the Cavs players were allowed to play against us. So not mad about it because we got away with the dub, and it just makes these guys even stronger and ready for that kind of play in the NBA as well. Even I think Ugonna had a great second half, his best half of the summer league so far. Great in terms of, compared to his other ones. He definitely has a long way to go in certain areas, but I liked what I saw, and I'm excited to talk about these guys a little bit more. It feels like, last time we talked about all the starters and a couple of the bench guys, and the starters all really have an area that they excelled in today. So very cool.
Agreed. Yeah. I felt like the Pistons, they started this game off much better than they did last game. They were very sluggish out of the gate, very sloppy last game, which is to be expected in game 1 of Summer League. But this game, they just looked more locked in on the scheme. They were much better defensively. The effort was better defensively, especially early, just holding the Cavs to one shot, something we didn't see a lot of in game 1 early. And they were looking to score off every stop. We saw a lot of Pistons pace in this game. Stop, score, stop, score. They were looking to run at every opportunity, and that led to them being up double digits pretty early in this game. They did let their foot off the gas a little bit in stretches in the second half and allowed the Cavs to kind of get back into it. Guys like Tomlin, who we love to hate or hate to love, depending on which team you're going for, really got involved. But they locked back in, did the Pistons, and defensively they turned it back up, and they were able to pull away late. I want to shout out some guys who were actually there in the building. We talked about it, boss. Tom Gores, the owner, was in the building. Shout out to him. He was sitting next to Trajan Langdon, the president. We saw some Gary Harris. He got interviewed at halftime. Tolu Smith pulled up, like you mentioned. Tink was in the building. Dennis Jenkins was there. And I was hoping, boss, because they interviewed Gary Harris, I wanted them to interview Tink. Because this is a guy who was just in Summer League last year and the year before. And for him to be where he's at now with the NBA contract and the role on a contending team, that would have been a perfect guy to talk to. So I'm like, where's the love for the Pistons, man? What's going on? They were interviewing John Calipari. Shout out to him. The Cavs coach and all this. I was like, man, all right, whatever. DVE, Detroit versus everybody, whatever. Y'all don't care to talk about the Pistons, whatever. It's all good. But it was nice to see those guys in the building supporting their guys like they did last game, for sure.
Yeah, and I agree with you, too. I think the only way that that's kind of excusable is if they approached these guys and they said, nah, we're cool. So you can do with someone else. I'm good. Otherwise, it's just kind of like, it's some interesting choices. And Trajan has yet to be on camera. And the other team's guys have been on camera the last 2 games, but there's still 2 games to go. So who knows if they're just planning it out that way. But I do agree. I truly don't care what Calipari has to say for 30 minutes. So
it's funny. Somebody in the live chat was saying, they may have asked Trajan to interview, but he's probably like, nah, y'all gonna ask me about JD all day.
Oh, yes. So true. So true.
So that could be why. We didn't see him. But that's all I got for initial thoughts, boss. If you want, we can get into some box scores and talk about some of these guys individually.
Let's do it.
Let's get into it. So, guys, let's go to Ebuka Okorie. Ebuka Okorie, as somebody deemed him in the live watch. Shout out to you, whoever that was. But in this game, guys, he finished with 14 points on 5 for 17 shooting. He did not shoot well in this game. We'll get into why. 0 for 2 from 3, 3-5 from the line. He had 3 boards, 6 assists to 3 turnovers. So that's a 2-to-1 assist turnover ratio. Not great, but not bad. We'll get into that as well. Here's the key, though. 7 steals.
Crazy.
7 steals for Ebuka Okorie in 31 minutes. Boss, take off on what you saw from Ebuka Magic, Ebuka Okorie in this game.
Yeah, well, first of all, the 5 of 17, not great. A lot of them were drives to the basket, and he was just getting swallowed up by this defense. And it was actually kind of insane what they were able to get away with on him. And I'm not saying just the drives, but I'm sure if you guys watched it, you saw it. 2 guys basically hold him down while they were trying to inbound the ball. It was nuts. I didn't get it. And I think that's when he started to get a little frustrated. But I do want to say real quick, because you mentioned 3 turnovers and 6 assists, and he ended the first half with 3 assists and 3 turnovers. So he took care of the ball much better in the second half and didn't have a turnover and added to his assists. So that's a positive for me. He came out and did, improve something from the first half to the second half. But yeah, I mean, most of my notes were a steal, another steal. He was attacking the basket early, had some nice touches early, an and one attack, another steal, ended the first half with 5 steals, ended the game with 7. 5 steals in one half is nuts. And then another steal, but he was just being mugged out there. And then the end, he had a really nice drive and finish and one to end the game. At the end of the game, that was a little scary. He kind of got hit in the air, like a sandwich there a little bit. But he is a tough guy. I think his size is a little bit more apparent today. compared to last game, but not anything like he's still very strong. He's still getting close to the basket. He was just getting, again, just kind of mobbed out there. And you could definitely tell at the start of the second half, he had like a great basket, and then he had a foul, and then another foul and a three, and which just not looking great after that. He was getting frustrated. We picked up on it. The chat picked up on it. And then I think he went out, calmed down a little bit, came out and really finished the fourth for us. But it was nice to see, you know, he had 4 assists the first game. So he's upped his assist game, which the other guys shooting well definitely helped that as well. But I really liked him and Bryce Williams and Chaz. They had a really good chemistry out there in terms of ball movement and moving without the ball and finding each other, which I thought Chaz and Okorie had a great chemistry in the first game. So it's just nice to see that continue. And he looked good about it. I mean, the 7, I can't just simply just bypass over the 7 steals. I mean, that is nuts. Like that is a SAR level, and this is our point guard, you know, for us. And it's not easy to get, you know, I mean, another thing is like, you know, we always rate turnovers with assists, but turnovers and then forcing your own turnovers. So you add that, I would say add the 7 steals as well. He caused a lot of issues out there for them. So it was very impressive in that aspect. I understand people might look at, you know, they might compare Malik Thomas, who did well for the Cavs today, to Okorie in terms of 2 first-round draft picks. I believe Malik Thomas was first round. And just that, but if you're just looking at scoring, then you're going to miss the entire whole picture, which is that he was doing so much else out there for us and helping create opportunities for even other guys to score because of that.
So last game we talked about how he started off slow, you know, and a lot of fans were nervous, you know, saying he was a bust after the first 2 minutes. I'm like, come on, y'all, chill. But he was just nonchalant last game, looking to get guys involved. And I was hoping to see in this game that he just looked to be aggressive to start the game as opposed to trying to get off to a good start in the second half. And he did that. Even though he wasn't shooting the ball well, he was aggressive all game. He was looking to attack all game. He wasn't able to convert at a high rate because he was getting hacked all game. But it was just good to see him be aggressive to start. He showed off some different things in this game we didn't see game 1. The floater, we saw the floater. We saw him finishing through contact. Things he did in college, and it's nice to see that continue now. But in game 1, we talked about it. He had 20 points on very efficient shooting in a very efficient game, clean game. That wasn't the case this game. You know, he wasn't able to find a shot in this game. He actually, somebody mentioned it, said he hotboxed 2 layups. He smoked 2 layups in this game, which is surprising because we are used to seeing him finish at the rim. And those are 2 that were point blank finishes that he wishes he could have back. He just couldn't knock those down. He was a little careless with the ball too at times. He was trying to force things a little bit too much, trying to force passes in where it wasn't there. He had a shot clock violation, you know, which is due to, you know, other guys as well not moving and things like that. But it wasn't his best start to this game. But we talked about the defense. You mentioned it too. They were playing football out there with him, man. They were playing defense on him like he was Jahmyr Gibbs out there. Like they were pretty much tackling him all game. You mentioned the inbound pass. You got 2 big men who are shading him and pretty much smothering him and knocking him over with their hips and right in front of the ref, and they're not calling anything. So we saw from early on that he was not going to have a good whistle in this game, and he was frustrated by it. But he continued to play through it. You mentioned the and 1 finish. He got popped as he released the ball in the air off the glass, and his whole momentum just changed, and he fell to the floor hard. But he's fearless. He is not afraid to get in that paint and get things done, regardless of what happens in the previous play. And we've seen it already, but just his ability, boss, to put pressure on the rim, whether it's in transition or in the half court. That's something the Pistons sorely needed and didn't really have last year. We knew Cade could get to the rim when he wanted to, but outside of Cade, it wasn't anybody consistently on the court with him who could put that kind of pressure on the rim in either scenario, regardless of the pace. And that's important. In the half court, outside of Cade, we didn't have that at all. So to have a guy like him who can do that, but also who's willing to push the basketball as well. That's something the Pistons love to do, which brings me to his defense. And you mentioned the 7 steals, but I'm looking at his backcourt pressure. The way he's pressuring guys, you know, challenging guys, picking guys up 94 feet. That reminds me of Asar. You mentioned Asar. It reminds me of Ron. his ability to be able to create his own offense off of his defense, which he doesn't need to do because he's a great player offensively, but his willingness to play defense, where he gets in the passing lanes, he's got great two-way capability, which is what we want to see. And it's just nice, boss. It's a breath of fresh air for me as an old school Pistons fan to see that type of defensive want to from an offensively gifted player like him. You don't see that too often. Either they're really good on one end or they're really willing on one end and not both sides. So Kevin says, good sign that the Rook doesn't allow shot making or missing to affect the way he plays defensively. Exactly. He doesn't drop his head. He doesn't get thrown off his momentum or his rhythm. He continues to play the same way. So it's just nice to see. That's kind of like Ron. Like we mentioned, like Ron last year, when offense wasn't going for him, a shot wasn't falling for him, he turned his defense up even more. So to have a guy like Ebuka who does the same thing, who's already gifted offensively at this level, is something that's going to be really important, and that's going to pay huge dividends, I think, for this team. So I love him on both sides of the ball, boss. And he's not afraid also to stick his nose in there for rebounds, offensive boards, and defensive. He's trying to box out the center off a switch, and he's boxing out and trying to get the board. He just plays really, really hard and smart basketball on both sides.
And that's like, we've seen comparisons. Hey, I can say a word. Comparisons to Jalen Brunson because of his size and the way he, handles the ball. But that's just offense. Brunson's not doing the defense that he's doing. And I'm not saying anything in terms of relative talent. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying that we've seen him compared to him in conversations, and you can really only tie it to being a point guard that has an offensive game. That's the only, and his size. That's the only similarities I see right now. And I see him excelling in areas that Jalen Brunson doesn't at this moment. But obviously Brunson is the better player offensively at this time.
Yeah.
But it is cool to see that, he's not just a one, way guy. And I think we know that that's not even the fit we want for our team. So it makes sense that he is this aggressive on defense. And that's why Trajan drafted him, because of his two ways and what he's doing out there. So absolutely agree with that. His transition ball is very fun as well. And I mean, this kid, like he's got to be so sore. Like he was fighting for everything. I mean, even just to get open, just for space, pretty nuts. So it was, again, like you said, not as efficient shooting wise as opposed to the first game, but very much we saw a lot of things that I did like, and I'm not mad about the game he had at all. So
yeah, and it's just nice to see like he doesn't get hunted out. You don't see a bunch of guys trying to go at him. He plays really good positional defense. He plays good individual defense. He plays angles well. He's not 6'6" like Kate is, but he's not 6 feet 6'1". He doesn't play like he's 6 feet 6'1" either. Like he plays a lot bigger. He's got a really long wingspan, which helps to kind of cover up the lack of height that he has. So he knows how to use his body well defensively. And just once again, you don't have to question the motor defensively, because he wants to get after guys. He wants to turn guys over. And for an offensive player of his level to be able to do that and to want to do that, that's going to fit perfectly with how we play the game, because that's exactly how the Pistons play for sure.
And Jamoke, I'm doing it in a player comp. It's a player comp.
Come on, bro.
And it's not me saying it. It's other people saying it. So come on.
Oh, yeah. A few people said that already for
Silly.
sure.
I mean,
Go ahead.
How you do it. I mean, he compares himself to, what did he say? It was kind of a little bit humble.
He said Colin Sexton. His coach said Tyrese Maxey. His coach initially, when he first got there, said, I see some Colin Sexton. He said 2 or 3 games in, he said, he's going to be better than Colin Sexton. I see some Tyrese Maxey in his game. I see
Sexton
some Kemba Walker
as well.
Yeah. The way he's able
player,
to had a ball in a string and dance with it and be able to get to where he wants. He's not the shooter Kemba Walker was. Kemba Walker was a dead-eye shooter with a great handle.
Oh, yeah.
He can, but he's showing flashes that he can be that type of player for sure. So overall, it wasn't a great game from him as far as a stat standpoint, but I like the way he led the team, and I like the way he competed, and he was able to get some things done despite not getting a call just in the whole game.
Exactly. So, I mean, 7 steals again, like
that's
crazy.
The key. Yeah, it's gonna be fun seeing them guys next year. Him and Ron and Nasar and all those defensive dogs getting out there in stretches and just creating havoc all over the court, and then getting out and running for highlight plays like we saw last year. So it's gonna be fun.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Tony Parker. I see a little Tony Parker as far as his quickness, as far as being able to get to the rim. you know, I see a little bit there, but he's much better defensively than Tony Parker already than Tony Parker was. So yeah, I see some similarities there. Anything else you got on the Ebuka, boss?
Nope, that's it. I'm curious to see, you know, again, he kind of hung his head after the last game, after the loss, and now they got a win. I'm sure he's not thrilled with his offensive output, but should be thrilled with literally everything else. So I'm really curious to see what happens tomorrow with him. I'm just curious to see what kind of game he has tomorrow.
It was funny to see how much attention he was getting too, like just the respect that he's already demanding. He was the game plan for them.
Absolutely.
Get the ball out of his hands as soon as he crosses half court. We saw those guys sending help from every which way. So they know what the game plan is. But once again, when he gets to playing with these guys on this Pistons team, they're not going to be able to do that. That was something that's something he's going to be able to help with as far as being keyed on, because that's what Cade had to deal with. So having another guy out there to take pressure off of each other, he and Cade, is going to be something that helps each other for sure. So yeah, I think this game's going to translate pretty well, Phantom. So we'll see. Boss, let's keep it pushing, man. Let's go now to Ugonna Onyenso in this game. Guys, Ugonna Onyenso finished with 5 points on 2-3 shooting overall. 1 of 1 from 3, y'all. Knocked down his only 3 ball, which is something to keep an eye on for the future. Not now, but for the future, right? Also had 8 rebounds. He had 4 turnovers and no assists. Not a good sign for him. Got to improve that. No steals, but 5 blocks.
Yes.
Boss. So once again, he is not an offensive monster, but he's showing signs of what he could be for this team going forward. What did you see in this game from Ugonna Onyenso?
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, the second half for him, he really did come alive a little bit. I think he definitely has to get stronger. I think there's areas of his game that he needs to improve before it can translate to the NBA. Like we just said, how seamlessly Okorie could. I don't see that for Ugonna, but the second half, I think he ended the first half with 2 blocks, which I think just helped get him, you know, a little bit more in the game. And then the second half, they were just, you know, he just looked a little bit more confident out there, in my opinion. Yeah. He looked less lost. He looked like what he was doing was contributing. 5 points, but on 2 of 3. I think the last game he had 1 of 3. So like you said, not huge offensively, but not like the 5 points isn't coming inefficiently. One of those was he went back up for a couple of his misses and was able to get it in. He had 8 rebounds, which was a big jump from last game as well. The 5 blocks, though, like you said, just he had two to end the first half. The rest came in the second half. So he definitely started to find his rhythm. And once it was found, he was a lot more confident. And his top of the key 3, I didn't know that he could do that. And it's just the top of the keys are so funny because that's the farthest from the hoop. And he just swished it. It was awesome. And he got that coming off of a block on the other end defensively. So just kind of rewarded himself with that. So that was really cool to see that he was, 1 of 1 from 3. I didn't know he had it. So it was nice. And again, the bench was up cheering for him with the blocks, with the shots. So it was very cool. I think it's a little bit of in his head, a little bit of just like, I don't want to harm the team. Yep. Which is something that we've even talked about in the past of like a Danish game that he's had a couple times. Yeah. First kind of like, it's just a little bit of just getting in there and hopefully it's an improvement from the first game. And so now I'm excited for tomorrow because hopefully he's like, look what you were able to do out there once you did find it. Yep. Because 5 blocks, but like in the last 2 minutes of the first half and then the rest in the second half, like it just goes to show that he really just did find a rhythm and he stuck with it. So, I mean, I do think that he does need some more time in the G League and everything. He has a little bit more stuff to work on, but it was very promising to see because he, again, just better from the first game. That's what I want to see. And that's what I saw from a lot of guys today. It's just they did things better than they did a few days ago.
Yeah, 100%. Real quick, I like that both the guys that we drafted, both like if you look at the stats from this game, they both look like they want to play Pistons basketball. Like Ugonna with the 5 blocks, and you got Ebuka with the 7 steals. That's Pistons basketball. So we know Ebuka can do so many other things, but what are we leading with? Who are we? Right. And we see that both of these guys can do the things that identify with who the Pistons want to be. So it's just nice to see that they're going to fit in on that end just fine. Right. When it comes to Ugonna, for me, I liked his presence. I liked his presence at the rim. He's got a long way to go. He's got a long way to go for sure at the NBA level. You mentioned how raw he is. I think you said he's a big piece of clay. And that's exactly what he is. He just has to be molded. It's about reps for him. It's about opportunity. It's about getting familiar and comfortable playing at this level, which is why I think he'll play with the crews a lot, at least this year. But he's got to get stronger. He got to get in the weight room, bro. You got to get stronger. Like he was getting pushed around under the basket, trying to box out.
Rip it out of his hands. I'm like,
he secured the rebound. Like you always said, 2 hands. He secured the ball.
He had 2 hands.
He's got it taken away. And see, he's still got it taken away, right? And a few other times, he was in position to box out and grab the board, but he was just kind of getting moved off a spot, getting moved up off a spot. So he's got to get stronger for sure. His base, he has to get stronger. His core has got to get stronger. But that's going to come. He's going to be here probably for a while, so we have time to be able to develop him for sure. But yeah, the presence at the rim. We saw the blocks. We also saw the second guessing of guys in the Cavs once they got 2 feet in the paint. They saw him there, and they saw what happened previously on plays, and they thought twice. They either missed a shot or tried to get rid of it. So that's important in itself. It's just being a presence in the paint and just anchoring the paint. I think he did a good job of that. The 3-ball you mentioned too. He shot 28% from 3 last year. So he's not a great 3-point shooter, but he's got good mechanics. He's got good form in the shot. If you leave him open and he takes 1 a game, I'm okay with him taking it. That's where I'm at. Don't want to see a bunch of from 3. And you mentioned it. He knows who he is, boss. We're not going to see him go 1 for 10 in the game. Right. He's not going to take 10 shots probably most games, even when he's playing, a couple years from now. He knows exactly who he is and why he's out there. Like a Javonte Green type guy. Like he knows why he's out there. Even though he can shoot, the focus is defense. That's who he is. You're not going to see him playing out of sorts or playing above his head or playing out of his scope. He's going to be a defensive guy who was just opportunistic offensively, whether it's a lob, whether it's a drop off, whether it's an offensive putback. Like that's how he's going to get his points. But his focus, and he understands what his focus should be, is defense. So if he continues to lead with that, eventually I think he'll have a role on this team.
Yeah, and I like that you brought up that he just also the people were turning around. Like he disrupted shots. So the 5 blocks aren't even, the whole story. He was disruptive towards the players in there, at least in the second half. The first half was not great. He was one of the ones that I was like watching the Cavs just beat up Okorie, and I was like, get physical. Get physical with these guys. If they're boxing you out, push back, get around them because they're letting it happen. So I would have liked to see that from him. But again, I think that the G League will just do wonders for him, like truly, just being so confident on the court and finding that and understanding that, you can use your body, get strong. Of course, putting on muscle will help as well.
100%.
But I think it's just a little bit more of a mental thing too. Of like, no, hold on to that ball and rip it down and hold on to it and use your elbows because they're letting you this game. They're letting you. So.
Yep, exactly. Just gotta kind of impose your will down there. Kevin said he's got the physical tools for a pick at 53. I'll take that potential, and that's exactly what it is. It's potential. It's potential. Yeah. It's seeing what's already there and being able to build and get the most out of that. And that's something that I think JB does a good job at as far as just getting the most and developing these all the coaching staff. But with JB at the helm, they really want to try to get as much out of these guys as they can. And he also made the good point too that Stu didn't start out making many threes either. Because that's a great point. Stu had to develop the 3-point shot. He always had a little touch. He just never really took a lot of threes. So if he gets the opportunity, I can see him becoming a 33, 34, even 35% 3-point shooter on low volume. I can see that for him, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look at what Andre Drummond's done.
That's a fact.
I mean, it's been years. You would hope that, who knows if he would have to be to see that kind of slow development with us. He'd have to be like a lifetime Piston.
Be here for a while, yeah.
But it is possible. And the fact that he took that so confidently and it was a switch, but like you said too, he knows who he is because there were other times where he was up top and he just knew not to. He just like, nope, I gotta wait to give it off. Yeah,
point guard. Ebuka, where you at, bro?
Exactly. So
that's what I like.
He knows, but again, I think that comes a little bit with that second half confidence boost that he got.
Yeah, I agree. So like we said, project, long way to go, but I think we'll see him get better game by game, or at least it may not be linear, but I think we'll see him by the end of Summer League. I think we'll see a much better Ugonna Onyenso than we saw from game 1 and game 2. So.
Agreed.
All right, let's keep pushing, boss. Let's go to Swaggy Chaz Lanier, guys. Chaz Lanier in this game finished with 25 points. 25 points, man, on 9 for 17 shooting overall. 7 for 12 from 3. I love to see it, the volume and the efficiency with that. 3 boards, 3 assists, 3 turnovers, and a steal in 29 minutes. So, boss, before I get to him, let's just check the poll and see who you guys thought was the player of this game. Who do you think the chat thinks, boss, is the player of this game, based on what we saw?
Gosh, I think right now it'd be between Chaz and Bryce, but I'm going to say that chat said Chaz.
Okay. Yeah, so Chaz is at 71%.
Okay.
Ebuka's at 17. Bryce is at 10. And Roddy Gayle / Isaac Zones is at 2%. So overwhelmingly, you guys think Chaz Lanier is a player of the game, and I tend to agree. So let me get back to you, boss. What did you see from him in this game, though?
I was just so excited for this. Exactly what I wanted. Like, I was hoping for Chaz to have this game because I said to you guys last game, you guys were like, is Chaz going to be on this team? We were talking about what he needs, like what he needs to do to stay on there. And I remember saying, like, I need to wait the 4 games. I can't judge off of 1 game. Just like, again, like you can't drop off to 2 games. Like 4 is a nice number to really see what kind of rhythm these guys got in. But Chaz was phenomenal. This is exactly what I wanted to see from him in terms of just doing what we know he can do, which was shooting threes and making them. He had the first 8 points of the game, and then Bryce Williams hit a corner 3 that was an assist from Chaz. So the first 11 points of the game, he had a hand in making. In the first quarter, or was it first quarter or first half? He had like 17 of the 29 points.
17 after the first quarter, boss.
Yeah, first quarter. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like 29 is too low for halftime. First, and so that means that everybody else scored 12. He was just hot. And then I said I wanted to see what he was going to finish, like how he would have been once he went out and cooled down and came back. And he was cold for a while, started to pick up again in the fourth.
You did say that. Yeah.
But we did, Dom brought it up. A couple people in the live chat brought it up is, what else can you do? If you're out there and your shot's not dropping, what else can you do for us? We saw him bring the ball up a few times, and I didn't love it, but he usually lost it on the pass. So, like, okay, so he can take care of the ball in one aspect. But I think they were trying, especially in the third or the fourth, to take Okorie off ball because Okorie was being so bullied. I think that's why they had him bring it up a few times. But he needs that's an area of improvement. His defense was okay. Like, he stayed in front of his guy, and then later in the game, he did have a great defense that led to a turnover and his breakaway dunk because it fell in the hands of Okorie. Found his 3 again in the second half, and had a beautiful elevated 3 shot late in the fourth. Like, it was right over a guy, which was nice to see because we know him as a catch and release guy, and usually when he's so fast, there's not even a defender on him. So to see him just, have the ball, have it for a little bit, and then decide to go pull up and drain it was really nice to see. So it was just a good Chaz game. I think I would be curious to see, I said this in the live, like what he's working on in practice outside of his 3 shot. I think, again, if he can bring the defense, then that's good enough to earn minutes with us if his shot's falling and he's playing defense. Because that's the same thing with Duncan that we said, like at the beginning of last season, like, why is he playing 30 minutes if his shot's not falling? Yeah. Because he can't play defense. So at the end of the season, he was, at least, kind of averaging a steal a game. Yeah. And I think that's kind of where Chaz needs to go, but he's still young and has plenty of room to grow. But it was just nice, again, to see him fall back into his game, which is making threes. And now it's like, okay, if that continues, the next game, and the next game, I'd be like, okay, so he is good. He's feeling it. And that's what he was doing in G League last year too. But it is that little bit of question of like, well, what else? Because you can't be the only one shooting, because eventually they're going to catch on. You're going to be heavily defended, which is kind of what happened to in the second half, I believe. But yeah, I'm very proud of Chaz because I was just excited for him last game, and this just totally made up for it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we talked about this last game, boss, in the post game. The aggression that he had in the first quarter or the first half, particularly the first quarter of this game, is how he needs to approach the game every time he enters it. Every time. Like, he needs to have the ultimate green light as far as being able to, because he's a shooter. That's what he does. That's who he is. That's why he was drafted here. That's how he made his bones at Tennessee, right? So he needs to make sure that he continues to just be aggressive shooting the ball. And we haven't really seen a stretch from him until, I would say, this. We saw with the Crews. He had a 40-point game. I was actually at that game. And I'm like, there you are. there it is.
Yeah.
As far as the efficiency of knocking them down, but more so just the aggression of being able to take it when it's there and not hesitating. That's why you are on the court. So in this game, he was so much more aggressive. It's almost like somebody went to him and was like, hey, bro, we need you to take more shots, bro. We need you to do what you do out here. We need to make your presence felt on this court. Because maybe that wasn't the case, but it seemed like somebody got in his ear, was like, bro, we need you to be that guy.
Or
and we
he's
saw
also
it. Like,
disappointed himself from the first one.
that could be the case too, right? Like he wasn't, it was just not the shots, but even just the way he was cutting, the way he was moving, which is much more intention this game. And he was getting himself open easily and just letting it fly. He wasn't hesitating. He was just letting it go. 4 or 5 in the first 6 minutes from 3. That's what I'm talking about from Chaz. If he's going to carve out a role for himself with the Pistons, he has to be aggressive, looking for a shot. We talked about this during the live, boss. Going into the season is going to be the most shooting CAVS ever had around him.
Yeah,
and it was tough for Chaz last year to carve out a role. He was a rookie, but even with the guys, the shooting guards are ahead of him, some of them weren't great shooters and they were still ahead of him. So now we've got guys that we've added to this team who do what he does.
Right.
So like you said, what else are you doing? First of all, you got to make sure you're doing what you do at a high level, but also bring something else just in case it's not falling, because it's not always going to fall. You talked about Duncan Robinson. So that's what I'm looking for him. Just be aggressive, be a reliable shooter, an aggressive shooter, and then defensively, give me some Klay Thompson vibes. I don't need you to be a great ball handler, but just be a great mover, be a consistent knockdown shooter, and defensively be able to hold your guy down. You ain't gonna stop him, but just keep him in check. If he can do those things, I think it'll be a little bit easier. It's gonna be harder because we got guys like Isaiah Joe on the squad now. We got Gary Harris and Torian Prince and Duncan's still here and all those guys. So it's like he's gonna have to consistently bring something consistently to the squad if he wants to make it. I think he can. Maybe not this year, but I think he can eventually get to that point. But it was encouraging, like you said, seeing the defense. Right? They put the ball in his hands sometimes offensively. It's funny, they even ran some of the same plays, just opposite action with him and Ebuka, where he was bringing the ball up and you see Ebuka setting the soft screen and trying to flare out for a 3, he'd get it to him. So they're like you mentioned, they're trying to stretch him out. They're trying to see exactly what he can do so they know how far to push him in those situations, how much to put on his plate. Can he handle the ball? Can he get his shot in the mid-range? They're just trying to see what he can do consistently. So it's nice to see him trying to stretch out a little bit. But for me, it all comes down to, of course, defense and looking for your shot when it's there. I think if he does those things, he'll be okay. He'll be all right.
Yeah, agreed. And I think he has an opportunity to. And I think we've seen Trajan, again, it wasn't really a need because of, improving our seasons, but we've had a chance to develop our rookies in the G League a little bit. And it's really worked to our benefit. So even, if he isn't, he is a two-way, if he's standard, if he is more in the G League, I think it just benefits going forward as well. But I think the off-ball movement too was huge. He found ways to get open, and like I said, the chemistry was there between him and Ebuka and Bryce. And you don't not one guy can create chemistry. So all 3 of those guys are doing a really good job in finding the shots that they needed and that they wanted, because he wasn't just going anywhere. He was going to spots where he could make the basket behind the perimeter. So. Yeah,
I like what I saw, man. I like what I saw. Our summer league roster, basically a year. It's good to see some guys get opportunities, man. I thought Chaz needs to keep this up. He ain't got to take 12 threes a game and go for 25. But if the shot's there, bro, take it. Don't think twice. You more than times than not, he's gonna be the best shooter on the court. Right? So you a sniper, bro. Go snipe. We need you to go do that for sure. So I like what I saw from him in this game. All right, boss, let's keep pushing. Let's go now to who we got next. Let's go to Isaac Jones. Isaac Jones. Isaac Jones in this game, guys, finished with 16 points on 2 for 9 shooting, 0 of 2 from 3, 6 for 7 from the free throw line. That's encouraging. 10 boards, also encouraging. 3 assists, 1 turnover, good stuff, and a steal in 30 minutes. Boss, what'd you see from Isaac Jones in this game?
Well, again, the free throws are a little weird because 6 from 7, but that was 12 points. Yeah.
So how does that work? Because if he got fouled on a 3, is that 3 for 3 or is that just 1 for 1?
It's 1 for 3. He went to the free throw line 6 times. He shot 6 times, or he shot 7 times. 7 times. Okay. Made 6 of them. Because look at it, you can't get 16 points off of 2 of 9 shooting.
Right. I'm just wondering how they count if he got fouled on a 3 ball and he
made, because
you get 1 free throw on the 3, right?
Yep. It would just
So
be
would that count as 3 for 3 from the line if he makes the one free throw? Does that count as 3 free throws, or how do they do that? You know
no,
what I mean?
just
Like
one.
it's just one.
There'd
Okay.
just be one. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
That's so
yeah,
weird.
I know.
But
The math makes sense because Isaac Jones, he does shoot threes, but I don't think he made any today. Yeah, he was 0 for 2. I don't think he got fouled on any either because the math is mathing. So 2 of 9.
Right.
So 4 plus 12 is 16. So yeah, so he actually had more points than I thought, but he was getting fouled later in the game and making those free throws, which was big. And so, but he definitely had not a better game than the first one, but it's because other guys ate. Like 2 of 9 is not good, but I'm surprised he only got up 9 shots the way he was playing the first game, you know? So I would say he declined a little bit there. He was starting to get aggressive more later in the game. Man, Tomlin was just barking at them. So funny. But he had 3 assists, you know, a steal. Let's see. Do you have any turnovers? He had 1 turnover. Okay. Yeah, his board split was nice. He had 4 offensive and 6 offensive rebounds. Or sorry, 4 offensive, 6 defensive. So 10 rebounds total, led the team in that. So again, I was a little surprised by his ending score, but it makes sense that kind of came at the free throw line with their weird rules now. So yeah, I'm not off the Isaac Jones train at all based on these 2 summer league performances. But yeah, he was probably the only one who didn't go up from the first game, but he was our best player in the first game. So
yeah, it's funny. Kevin Lucian says 16 points, still tipping on 4-4. Yeah, for my Mike Jones fans, y'all know that reference for sure. Know you love that track. Yeah, he almost got hurt. I'm glad he didn't get hurt. He got undercut trying to contest a shot, and somebody ran into his legs, and it was similar to how Stu got hurt when Stu went up for that block against Orlando, and he came down his leg. I was hoping it wasn't going to be the same kind of thing, but he got up and walked it off, so it looked like he was all right. Yeah, he was solid. I feel like sometimes, I don't know, like I think he's a good player. Sometimes he doesn't seem like he's always in the flow of what's going on offensively sometimes. Because he's looking for a shot. I get it. I think we had 22 points last game. So yeah, I think he had the most points last game. This game he was solid. He did a lot of little things in this game, though. I got to give him some credit. He was moving the ball. He had some nice passes for open, knock down. He wasn't knocking down shots himself, but making the right play this game more so. I just want to see him get more time, more opportunity with his guys, because it looked a little helter-skelter at times offensively for him. I did like how he got in the glass, though. I like how he got in the glass. That was something I didn't see a lot of from him in the first game. So to see double-digit boards leading the team, that's what I'm talking about from him.
Led the game.
Yes, led the game. Right. Just playing big. I know some of you guys were saying maybe he's the backup 4. He's gonna have to be big on the glass if he's gonna, because we talk about the size in the East now. Talk about how the Central Division, all these divisions are swapping big and swapping players, and we got Andre Drummond in New York, and we got Bam and Giannis in Miami. So we're gonna need some size at that backup 4 spot. Somebody who can play big on the glass, because we don't want to get bullied like we did a little bit at times in the playoffs last year, just not having enough size or utilizing who we have on our team. So if he's going to get that chance, it's going to have to start, I think, with the board work and then defensively and then going from there offensively. But I think in this game, he was solid. Not bad.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I think he just kind of let other guys eat a little bit, and they were being physical with him as well.
They were.
Couldn't really find it, but he was driving to the basket. But yeah, the board work was huge. Him and Ugonna actually both led the game. Nobody got above 6 rebounds for the CAVS. So
yeah. So I'll glass off from him. Yeah, not bad. Let's keep pushing, Bars. Let's go to Bryce Williams. Bryce Williams in this game, guys. Bryce Williams finished with 21 points, 21 on 6 for 9 shooting, 6 for 9 from 3. So all of his shots, like you mentioned in the live, Boss, were from 3. I like that. I'll get to that later as to why. But 3 from the line, 4 boards, 2 assists, 3 turnovers. Not great. 1 steal and a block, though, in 26 minutes. What'd you see from Bryce?
And so Bryce got fouled on a 3 and actually had to shoot 3 because the rule is under 2 minutes, you have to shoot them all, which I appreciate. So that one, it's confusing when you look at him and Isaac's, but like that makes sense in terms of, again, the math. To shoot all those 3s was awesome. And I knew he could, and I understood that the first game was a struggle for him and Chaz. And it's also a little bit of why, thankfully, Okorie had those guys on his side to outlet to win this game. Those shots were falling because he just, again, was being just bullied. And when you make your game plan to go after one guy, it's kind of what we said about Cade. Like, this is why Cade needs help, because if you're going to double Cade and he can't get it to anybody who can, fill that role and make an impact and force the defense on them too, that's going to be hard to win. And that's kind of what it was today. But Bryce and Chaz both showed up big time. Beautiful threes. He had 3 turnovers. So another high turnover game for him because they had a lot last time. But a steal on the block as well. Some boards. Yeah, it was a solid show out for him. He had no fouls. I love to always point that out. But again, could have been more physical in a game like that. But, in 27 minutes, that's really impressive. And I can see what we've seen him. He's been on our G League team and he's had some minutes with the Pistons and towards the end of the season, the games that don't matter. In dead time, I've seen him, come in for a few minutes. I think he just definitely, again, he's one of the guys that just bounced back from a bad first game. So I'm curious to see what he does next game, just like Chaz, just like some of these guys that we were like what does this look like? Is it going to be up and down? Did you find your rhythm? What is it? So I liked what I saw from him today, mostly.
Yeah, for sure. In the words of Shaq, I'm gonna say this. I apologize, Bryce Williams. I was not too familiar with your game because game 1, he was just letting it go the way I wanted Chaz to let it go. He was just letting it go. And he wasn't knocking many of them down. He couldn't throw it in the ocean. He couldn't buy a bucket in game 1. I'm like, bro, stop shooting. It's not your night. So when I saw him take 1 or 2 early, I'm like, bro, come on, man. Like, let's get Chaz. Chaz is hot. Let's ride Chaz right now. But he proved me wrong. Like he was able to start knocking down that 3 ball. And like you mentioned, all the shots were 3. I like guys who know who they are. He knows that's his game. That's where he's going to make his money if he's able to make it in the NBA, right? Is from behind that line. So I was impressed because most of his shots, unlike last game, most of his shots this game were good shots. They were good threes. They were in rhythm. They weren't forced. It wasn't without any ball movement. Like it was within the flow of the offense, which is what you want to see. So he knocked him down, but they were better quality shots. So if he can bring that'll help him a lot. But I got to give him credit because I did not think he could shoot the way he can shoot in this game. Last game was putrid shooting the ball. And every player has that. But for me, not being familiar with him and seeing that in the first impression, I'm like, whoa, like that's enough, bro. That's enough. But tonight he bounced back and he started knocking him down. So shout out to him for that.
Yep. That's just kind of where I'm at with him. And again, just curious to see where he goes from here. I think if he stays consistent, I don't know. Again, I think there's people in front of him to make our roster, but this is also about the NBA as a whole, just to become an NBA player. So I'm curious. I think he had a great season in our G League for the Motor City Cruise last year. And but like you said too, I think definitely more cohesive between those 3 players that I mentioned. And so now it's kind of just getting everybody else involved as well. So
100%. We got one more guy we're going to get to, guys, and then we can check out some chat comments, and then we'll pretty much call after that.
Perfect.
Boss, Roddy Gayle. I want to get to Roddy Gayle in this game. This is
I just want to bring this up real quick.
Okay.
Because this is true.
Roddy Gayle you're right, because he was 4 for 4, I think, last game. So let's get into his box in this game, guys. Roddy Gayle, guys, in this game finished with 10 points on 4-4 again from the field overall, 2-2 from 3. I think that was the same exact stats from last game, 4-4, 2 for 2. 3 boards as well, and a turnover in only 11 minutes of play. 10 points on very efficient shooting in 11 minutes. Again, Boss, take off on what you saw from Roddy Gayle in this game.
Yeah. Again, he in 11 minutes is just nuts to put those kind of numbers up and also have 3 boards. It just it's very like Paul Reed. Like you're just like, what? You did that so quickly. And just especially in a game that doesn't really have flow. I want to see him more with the starters, honestly. Like I want to see him more with that unit, because I would say definitely our bench unit is like that. They're not cohesive at all. And it was apparent today, but yeah, he looks really nice bringing the ball up as well. Like he's a good ball handler.
Except for that one inbound where he.
Oh yeah, but I mean everything else I would say. So he was trusted with it. I'm just saying in terms of who else brought the ball up other than Okorie. Yeah, it stuck out to me that I like the way he brought it up, and he took a huge strong take down the lane, just very aggressive on both ends. Really liked what I saw from him, and it is kind of crazy that he hasn't missed yet. He takes tough shots and gets it done. He's never really wide open, I would say.
Right.
Yeah, we had 2 threes, so I don't remember if those threes were open or not, but the other ones were basically drives down the lane and he was able to finish. So
yeah.
I really like it. He's someone, I think he's kind of I was excited when we signed him because, again, he is a Michigan guy, and we invited him to this for us, but he's really making an impact in short minutes, in short time. So.
Yeah, exactly. Very efficient. That's the kind of stuff. The Paul Reed example was a great one, boss. HB League, yes, we did. Pistons won 103-94 in this game, which is their first dub of Summer League. Yeah, boss, for me, Roddy Gayle, he's a very physical player. I like how he plays angry. I feel like he plays angry when he's out there. He's looking for contact. He's looking to bully you. He's looking to get downhill. And when he puts his head into your chest, there will not be a black mark that is left either. But I just like how he plays. He puts pressure on the rim, very physical. You don't see too many guys who are that physical who can shoot the way that he can, at least not at this stage, which is encouraging. He doesn't miss a shot, and he plays a very physical brand of basketball. So I hope, based on what I've seen so far, it's still early, I wouldn't mind seeing him on a 2-way contract.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think he's done anything to deny that of him. I think he's got to keep it up, right? Got to be consistent. But from what we've seen so far, he plays winning basketball. Once again, he doesn't do anything outside of his scope. He doesn't take bad shots. All of his shots are in rhythm, and he plays good defense. You can't ask for much more when you're looking for, like, he's not the greatest ball handler. He had the inbound turnover, but once again, outside of Okorie, I don't really see a true point guard on this team.
Right, honestly.
So it's kind of by committee with all these guys. So I'm not even mad at that either. Yeah. So I thought he looked good, man. I think he deserves opportunity for sure. He's good. I like him.
Agreed. And he's a little bit like, again, like I think Williams, has been there longer, tenured there longer, but they're different positions. He's a guard, I believe Gayle is, and Williams is more of a shooting forward. So or a small forward. So I would like to see the adjustment be, that he gets a little bit more time. Today they played with Henley a little bit more, who didn't do well. He had more minutes. I mean, he had the second most minutes off the bench, so I'll give him that. But again, I would kind of like to see him maybe be one of the first rotations in with this starting crew to see how he does there. So
yeah, I like what I saw from Roddy Gayle, man. And guys, I was poking a little fun. If he did actually hurt himself, then I'm gonna take what I said back, because on the inbound he kind of went behind his back and he lost the ball. And what I've seen guys do sometimes is when they make a play that's not a good play or a bad turnover or something, you see him kind of like faking the injury, like, oh, that's why I did it. Like, that's why. I saw him limping. I'm like, man, you ain't hurt. But if he actually got hurt, then I'll take it back. And I hope that he's good, because I want to see more of him. I want to see him continue to play and show what he can do. PD said you got a correct boss. Okay, yeah, shooting forward. Yeah, he's a wing. He's a wing.
I mean, he is.
Yeah. Roddy Gayle, keep it up, bro. Keep it up, man. Shout out to Blue. Go Blue. You got anything else on him, boss?
No, that's really it. And again, no one else really made an impression today. I feel like our bench was a little bit more involved. We had a couple more people to talk about the last game, but I will say, Drake Allen had a nice steal in the fourth that led to a 3 for him. Basheer Jihad was just bodying himself to the basket early. Like, he was he only played 8 minutes, but like, I was like, when the Cavs were bullying Okorie, I was like, put Jihad in. Like, he would go hard. Corey Stevenson made some free throws at the end for us. It looks like Timu DeMar. Like, we have DeMar at home for cheaper. Jaden Henley had nice attacks on the basket early, but he just looked sloppy today. It looked like he was trying to be better than the first game, but it just looked a little bit too messy. And then Crowl, he did have a block. That was the big white guy. I was like, who is this? He had a Larry Bird-esque block. And then no points, but some assists and stuff too. So that covers the bench basically. And I'm sure, once if we're out of the running for like G League champs, I don't know. We don't know. I
don't think we're good enough to win. Year.
But if we're out of the running for like that kind of playoffs, that we'll probably see more of these bench guys get some minutes, because with our like main guys too, because they are fighting for a spot in the NBA. But yeah, I'm curious to see if some of them have better games next game as well. They're kind of who needs to elevate. Our starters definitely elevated this game compared to last, and let's see if our bench can do it next game too.
Yeah, that's what Petey was just talking about. He said, how did Drake Allen do?
I didn't like him in the beginning. I did not like what was going on. And then the minute he heard me, he stole the ball and hit a 3. So,
That seems to
although
be a
it must have
thing.
been a long 2 because he ended
Long
with 2
2.
points. It must have been a long 2.
Yeah, that's
It
what
was-
Killer Cam was saying. Long 2. He had a foot in the line, KD style. Yeah, but I always say if you earn the possession with a turnover or steal, and it's a good shot, take it. You earned it, right?
Yeah.
So I wasn't mad at that. Phantom says the only impressions that matter is getting those impressions up on the view count produced live streams. Appreciate you, mother. Yeah, hit that like button, man. Hit the like button, subscribe. We appreciate you guys for showing up, man, for sure. I know that's your guy, PD, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
But somebody asked you this last question. We'll get out of here. I saw some of the comments, between Danis and Okorie, and somebody was saying, Okorie's going to start. He does this better than Danis. Other people saying Danis going to eat his lunch. Who do you think is, as of right now, it's fluid. We're going to have this in our prediction and all that stuff. If, as of today, who do you feel comfortable with Boss sliding at the shooting guard spot on this roster opening night? As of right now, it's fluid. It's going to change probably from
Are
now.
you telling me
based on
between those two or who we
just
have?
all the shooting guards who we have? Yeah, between Joe and Dunk and Herder and Corey and Dane.
I wouldn't. It's really hard. I can't really pick because I could see the benefits of all of them. I would not be surprised if we retain Duncan and he is still our starting 2, although we're looking for something different. Right now, my gut says Isaiah Joe. My gut says Isaiah Joe, but I haven't seen him play. So this is a question that I can answer after preseason.
That's why it's fun. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
100%.
it's fun, but it's also like I can't answer it. It's not fun. I need to give.
It's fun for me to think about it. Like I would say Isaiah Joe too. Like you mentioned, cases can be made for all these guys. I like Duncan Robinson. To me, he's not a starter on this team, a defensive team, right? To me, I see y'all saying Duncan. I don't think it's Duncan. I think the playoffs is, to me, PD, where he lost his spot. Not for lack of trying, just for the ability of being able to stay in front. I think Joe, Joe's the champion, man. I don't think it's gonna take him long to earn anything on this team. I think,
but he also did that off the bench.
Yeah, he did. I think in a bigger role, he can be a lot better. I think playing with a MVP level player in Cade instead of SGA, who's looking for him, is just gonna make him a lot better on the court. You can make a case for Danis Jenkins as well, because he can handle the ball. Yeah, I won't say he doesn't play no defense, because I do think Duncan Robinson does play defense. He's just not a great defender. So it's hard when you got great backcourts you're playing against who have guards who can both score, like Cleveland, for example, because you can't really hide them. But with Joe, Isaiah Joe's not like a clamper. He's actually still trying to get better defensively, but I think he just has more capability of being able to stay in front of his guy than Duncan Robinson, and he shoots just as well.
He's coming from a very good defensive team, number 1 defensive team, like 2 years in a row now. And so that's a little bit different from where Dunk, we had to mold him a little bit. So if you told me, this is another reason why I just don't know, because I don't know what he's going to look like coming into the beginning, because beginning of last season Duncan was completely different from end of last season Duncan to me in terms of defensive effort and just presence and making, the right decisions and things like that. So Isaiah Joe has he was expected to play defense for the Thunder. So that might benefit a little bit. But again, I would really love to see the chemistry. And I think we'll see it more, in like a preseason setting. But then we're not, Kay's not going to play crazy amount of preseason minutes, So it's also like it's going to give us tastes of stuff. They're going to experiment. I'm sure they're experimenting with practice. Again, we need to talk to, guys like Eric Vincent, the insiders of what's going on in practice, because I want to know what kind of things they're doing. But again, it is a fun question to ask, but I could really see it go anyway. But at the same time, we saw them not waver at all from their starting 5 last year. They had the same starting 5 that they started the year with, despite who we were playing, what we were doing. So again, I think that's kind of where it's like he didn't necessarily lose his spot, but also people are like, Cade needs a better two guy. So why would we just run it back with Duncan? But I could see both. I could see everything. So it's gonna be curious. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah, I'm seeing everybody, which is, I think that's pretty cool. We're seeing some. I even saw some Ebuka day 1. I don't see that he's a rookie. That's kind of tough to ask. But I see Joe.
He's such a point guard. He's such a point guard to me. So,
but Joe, Danis, Duncan, like Michael saying, Danis should be the starter unless Asar all of a sudden is more on the ball, right? Because now we have more pressure taken off Cade because Asar's taking some of that responsibility. That could be another thing that we take a look at. And from what I'm hearing from Asar, he's already in the gym making strides and improving his game as well. So it's fun to talk about now. The picture is not clear at all, which is why it's hard to have a clear answer. But it's fun to talk about, and it's going to be fun to watch that develop. And to hear from guys like Vinny, who you guys have seen on the show, our dog, talk about that for sure. So we'll see, guys. We'll see, man. But that's all I got, boss. You got anything else?
No. Well, tomorrow those afternoon starts are even earlier for me. They're at 2 p.m. I'll still be working. I'm gonna try to catch as much of the game as possible. So I won't be on postgame tomorrow. Definitely can on the 15th, but we'll try to catch as much of the game. Try to come on, be in the chat with you guys. Should be fun. And then also, I'm just hoping that this week, we kind of get the Jalen Duren stuff over with and done with, and then. Once that's taken care of, like people have mentioned, I saw a chat, like you think that Trajan's done. I don't think he's done. We also have too many players, which could just, if he's done, that just means a wave of someone. And then we have our roster. But there's it's heavy at one position. We could be, so I'm just curious what happens. But for right now, I'm just ready for Jalen Duren to be kind of signed into this team, and I think his teammates are as well. I want to see him at Summer League. I want to see him, do these things, and I think we're all kind of ready for that to be closed, done deal. So
yeah, same here. So guys, we will be going. Well, I'll be going live tomorrow, not for the live, but I will be here post game to break everything down when the Pistons take on the New York Knicks. Yeah, these afternoon starts are killing me, guys. Like, we got lives outside of this too. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to make it all work. But we will be here. At least I'll be here. I'm not sure about boss. She's gonna try, but we'll see. But I'll be here for sure for the post game tomorrow evening at around 6:30 after the Pistons take on the New York Knicks. So you guys can look forward to that, and hopefully we'll see you guys here as well. But yeah, we'll see how it works out, man. I'm looking forward to seeing more of these guys get opportunity to play and show what they can do, and just get better game to game. That's all I'm looking for. Just, get more comfortable, because that's what it comes down to as far as, when it comes to, carving out a role for yourselves and some of these guys. So we're looking forward to seeing that. So guys, as always, we appreciate you for showing out as you guys always do. Make sure you hit that like button, the hype button, and subscribe if you are new. Hope you guys have a great night. And y'all know the drill, man. Detroit versus everybody. See y'all tomorrow.
Welcome to the Dog Pound. Yeah.
I'm scared of these damn Pistons. I'm very concerned.
Screaming, cheering. Yeah, I cry loud, cause I said it got now. We off the leash, and we not coming to peace. This is Detroit, when we step on the court. Be afraid, when you see the motorcade, watch below. When you see your soaring Jalen Duren, pick your poison, all gonna war when Dana's a song. Be afraid. Yeah, I cry loud, cause we got now. We off the leash, and we not coming in peace. This is Detroit, when we step on the car. Be afraid, when you see the motorcade, watch below. When you see your soaring Jalen Duren, pick your poison, all gonna war with them Highlanders. So be afraid. It's the Dog Pound. With the